Can't pick for Morgan. Wouldn't surprise me. Because if you don't, like, T1's just going to pick Gragas, and you're not going to really have an angle either, so... It feels so tough playing against this T1 roster, and we have a bit of fun with it, because what else are you going to do? T1 are winning in every lane all of the time in their recent matches, so there's just not that much to talk about.
Any band on blue side means T1 are going for a different mid lane option. I'll leave it at that. Ashe, going to be the second ban here. For Bro. Zeri, will Evolution be the last ban here, as Varus also available. You have to pick your poison on that one. Maybe they'll just forego any of those. Ban something else. We'll see. But Zeri is a curious one. Of course, Henna pretty comfortable on the champion. Actually has a surprisingly good win rate. A little bit less good after the last game, but definitely has had some pop-off performances. What is it, bro? Have to make up your mind. As there it is, Lucian can be taken away. Varus first pick, sort of standing out to me, but we'll see where they want to go. There it is.
And of course, this is a flex pick. This could be a Varus support because it is Keria, who strongly advised everyone that this is not something that okay, Brion, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm loving it. I think that you need to try and swing wildly here if you want to have a shot at taking down T1. We know that these are champions that they are supremely confident on. And from the get-go, we are denying the Jace, we're denying the Gragas. Picks that are still flexible as well.
Yeah, that's the really fun part about this, because of course, we haven't seen Bro play very much Gragas. Karis could be playing it. Umpty's played it in the past. Effort's played it in the past. And Morgan could definitely play it once again. So a lot of flexibility. Morgan and Karis could both be on the Jace as well. Sejuani going to come in here for Oner. Back on Sejuani duty.
Well, there's also the fact that Gragas is very good into Jace, so it really works on many levels here with the Bro draft.
Varus,
very strong opener. Could be. Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know whether that is going to be the thing, as Azir makes me feel way less confident about Aurelion Sol.
No, it's okay.
Support Azir?
No, it's... Oh, wow. Imagine that. Well, I'm never going to rule it out. But no, it's top Azir for Zeus.
Hey, there we go. Into Renekton. Great matchup.
Ooh.
Pigeons versus crocodiles. That always goes well.
Could never get close. You know, Pigeon just flies away, Atlas.
Do you know what it means, though? It does mean that Gragas is going into the jungle or support position, and Jace and Renekton will be our solo lanes. I haven't seen jungle Renekton in a while, so I'm assuming that that's not where he's going to go.
No, I'm unless it is effort Gragas, and we're getting a support Gragas for the first time in a long time, my assumption is that it will be the Dark Harvest variety in the jungle, flanked by two lanes with both great setup and AD. So this is actually a very strong top side with a lot of priority and a lot of early game power, difficult to itemize against, as well as the customary ban of the Kalista to come through here, because that could be played. Support by Keria.
Could. Or the other way around, you never know. Ziggs going to be taken off the board. They don't want Henna to just try and dodge this lane.
Ooh, and not just dodge the lane, but actually, with the amount of AD that you already have, like, you can actually go for AP.
Veigar Seraphine, let's go.
Okay, well,
it's time.
No, I don't think it is.
I don't think that they've been playing it either.
No, I don't think you should try to play that into Varus. I also don't love the Aphelios into Varus. I think lethality. Varus actually has a great matchup. Aphelios doesn't like things in general that outrange him, as the Heimer and Varus lane we have seen be relentless. This would be a signal that it is going to be the on-hit Varus, as mostly they've been combined. Renata haven't seen in a while, but good into the Nautilus, which you expect to be picked up here on the R5, as Renata and Viego.
And so mid Sejuani top Azir.
Okay, yeah, no. So this is a combo that we actually used to see a lot when Sejuani top was meta. The Viego in the jungle then can bolster the Sejuani in the solo lane. Sejuani also, I think, would have a good matchup in the Jace, so I'm expecting Brion to rotate the Renekton to top, also because it's Morgan. So him on Renekton is always going to be kind of a no-brainer.
That's Soraka.
I actually quite like the Soraka into the Renata, right? Like, if you pick an engaged support into Renata, you're going to feel very, very sad. Soraka is actually a pick that can not be punished and skill in this lane. Great R5 usage, and I don't know if this is enough to win the game for Brian. I do think that the nameplate difference in this game is colossal, but I think they have a very adventurous draft with a couple of great parts. I just don't know how it works together, right? Like, how are you going to play this out cohesively as we get to later stage of the game? You have a little bit of poke, but you also have a fair amount of disengage to try and enable your Aphelios. But then you look at the range that's available for T1, and I'd get a little scared.
Well, we'll just have to see what is going to be able to do. I think the General is going to have a lot on his shoulders. There is a lot of setup, as you've mentioned already, for this Gragas to get stuff done in these lanes. And can they get Henna to a good position on this Aphelios? It's his turn on the champion as, wow. Is that a Faker LeBlanc right there?
Yep.
That is very cool.
Even has the makeup. Love it.
Yeah. Looking very, very cool. And is a Azir afterwards. Faker is God. Some people have said praise Faker before.
Aww.
When I sneeze at work, by the way, Valdez says Faker blesses you.
Yeah, he does.
He does do that.
Very consistently. As believe your revival. Only. Bro.
Only your revival.
That's aspirational.
It is. I don't want to go too deep on it, though. Let's have a look at these drafts once again before we hop onto the Rift. Oner on the Viego. It is the top Sejuani. Once again, she is back. We'll see how Zeus is going to do there. Into the Renekton. Was a matchup that kind of worked out for the Sejuani back in the day. As Umpty back on the jungle Gragas, debuting it in the jungle here in the LCK. So some changes here. Let's hop onto the Rift. Chronicler, it happened. I was just talking about this before. I was like, where did Hillbilly Gragas go? It was, of course, the skin that Score would play every single time. He was an absolutely fantastic jungle Gragas, and Umpty has picked it.
Two questions. Is this going to be the... are we going to get the graphic? And is Score going to be the last guy who played jungle Gragas?
No.
I don't think so either. And second, Predator, as far as I'm aware, it's not a great rune right now.
That might have been the last rune that Umpty used when he played jungle Gragas.
So here's my issue with Gragas runes in jungle, right? Dark Harvest in solo queue I do think actually is a great choice, because in solo queue you have a lot of guarantee that things will be messy. Generally solo queue has a lot of high variety plays. People get killed very, very
often,
often, and in that case actually getting the Dark Harvest text to get value out of the rune is great, but the last round of nerfs that eradicated Predator like really did a number on it, and it feels to me like a very weak rune. Does mean that Umpty might be going for some cool pathing, so we will pay attention to that. Like there used to be times where you could do a free camp into an early buy and then get your boots and then try and look for a Predator gank. And I do think, as mentioned, that his setup across the board is very, very good when it comes to his solo lanes.
Henna, he's going to heal, but Gumayusi's just chasing him down. He's have a lot of movement speed with his Ghost now proc. So T1 gaining some control, some health back here for Effort though.
Yeah, this is also the lethal tempo variety, as we thought as
Yeah, this is it's not the greatest of times. However, when Effort hits level 2, he can drain his own health and give it to Henna.
That is true. We also have Oner pathing away, so the Brian bot lane is not actually in any substantial danger, besides the risk of missing some creeps.
Yep. Or dying in the 2v2, but thankfully get under their turret now, and Effort will grab his level 2, so we'll be fine. Oner.
Pathing.
Yeah, and Permafrost, remember, extremely dangerous, and there is the mist. The flash already used, the ignite is down. Of course, this was what top Sejuani took all the time. Morgan Flash is able to get out with his life, but look at the wave state.
Yeah, it's a disaster. Umpty needs to go on top, because Morgan is going to get completely zoned away from this wave, and it's pushing away from him. Like, you're not going to be able... And we do have Umpty coming over now, which I do think is a great call. So... get the award to come through here.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Okay, Umti's going to come in. He's sidling on forward.
Well, Oner's on his way, but Umti will... Oh, no. Yeah, I was about to say, good ward from Umti there to ensure. I still don't think they get the crash.
Oh, Oner is going to get the crab. So there's that. As far as words that start with CRA.
Okay, we'll be able to get it now, as Oner is going to instead clear his jungle. But this does mean that in the bottom half of the map, there is a lot of room to be aggressive. Keria cancelled efforts back there, but with Guma backing, there isn't any big window. So, nicely done by Umti, saving his top laner from what was a very, very painful start of the game. As Morgan is deciding upon what to buy, was thinking about getting a Doran's Blade there, but ends up going for a refillable pot and a longsword, so going to skill a little bit better as Zay is looking to go towards a classic, building the Glacial Shroud early, which both in terms of mana and in terms of minimization value against the Renekton is very efficient.
Yeah, you're pretty happy about that one. But right now, just Sapphire Crystal and some clothes. And T1 retaining some control here of this bottom side. Keria walks out of the brush. 2v2 is upon us. Silence not going to quite really do anything here for effort, but does hit some of these Qs, of course. The Soraka, you can judge them by the amount of Qs that they land in lane, which certainly does help get some control back. And as you can see, this wave just going to move towards Bro, no problem. And so Henna and Effort actually having a pretty good time into T1's bottom lane right now.
Only downside is the CS disadvantage, but that is not going to be the end of the world. We do know how well the Aphelios scales, as Guma, also sitting on an early Vamp Scepter, also has his cookies at the ready, but I don't think he's really going to need him in this lane. Early Drake should be available here, as in comes Umti. He does have boots.
All right, let's see what they can find, as Morgan is taking a lot of damage from Zeus here, but does get the stun, and Zeus should be dead. There it is, Kulbamik. It's going to come through, and that is first blood to the Lord's Renekton. Gets some revenge against Zeus, who was playing the early lane very, very well.
Great gank from Umti. Sets up his top laner for success. There is no teleport for Zeus, so he will be able to, at the very least, catch the crash. This is a cannon wave, so his misses won't be humongous, but did miss out a lot of creeps there initially, as Morgan was able to get that shove and now has a whip as well. And does mean that the top lane RT1 is going to be pretty substantially behind now. Most of his lanes are doing well.
All right, well, there is Karis being delivered to Faker here. Oner gets himself the stun. Karis tries to get out, but it's not going to work. T1 bite back.
Very clean. Clean shuffle at the ready. Karis flashes, but Oner has his still available. And as a result, early kill picked up for Faker, his Azir. As we have mentioned, the Azir quote-unquote nerfs are not actually really nerfs. As,
the death of Azir was quite overstated.
Yeah, maybe next patch, but I've been saying maybe next patch for a fair amount of time here.
You've been saying it all season. Maybe next patch has been the tagline of this
It really has
season,
been.
I think.
And crucially, Zeus doesn't have his ultimate yet, so with ult and Ignite, you might have a kill opportunity here. Not going to be the case. He does not have it available just yet, so he only gets a single Permafrost proc, and that's where a lot of the damage from Sejuani comes from. So not going to be enough, as Faker doesn't even need to flash. Right? Yeah. Paris could have maybe avoided his fate by going for a preemptive flash there, and then try and stay alive. But not going to be the case, and ends up dying while still using his flash, which is the worst case scenario. Oner does have his ultimate available, but this is a Renekton with Dominus, so I think this is just to safeguard a crash for Zeus so that he doesn't have to be worried. What they don't know is that it was actually Umti
against Peanut's Diana.
Nongshim Peanut.
Yeah, about 2 years ago. Okay, so that was the last time we saw it. So Umti going to be playing it once again here, the first time in the jungle here for the Gragas. Very cool. Seen it in 3 lanes so far, if you call the jungle a lane here this season. We just need someone to play at support, and then we need that, what is it? Would it'd have to be like Gragas Senna? You could have like a Gragas Senna lane, where Gragas is kind of like the carry sort of.
But then it would also require the support to play the Senna, which doesn't happen often.
Yeah.
So it's not likely, but that is the one angle.
We need to find a way for it to be five positions for the Gragas. As efforts coming over, putting down vision. Faker just walking through the silence field, not too worried about it, but Faker may have overextended. There's the flash, he gives him the thumbs up. As the Emperor's Divide comes in, can he get the bailout? The answer's no. As Karis, he's going to get tagged, and that is going to be it. Zeus picks up the other one as well with the Glacial Prison, and Faker knew. I think he knew. Gave him the thumbs up, he's like, I'm the bait. My team's going to come and kill you, and then we'll take the Herald.
I don't think Faker had to die there, but you know, maybe he's proving a point, Atlas.
Yeah, still gave him the thumbs up. That's what really did my head in.
And the immediate response is the pickup, and yeah, there is a lot invested in making sure Faker dies. The rest of T1 promptly arrives and says, thank you. Now we can murder you, and proceed to do so. Guma does not have his ultimate available, did get a kill there, but hasn't been able to spend that money just yet. Just ran straight down towards his lane. And Brion, that gold lead is starting to grow, and that is without the actual usage of this Rift Herald. So T1 is going to be able to pull even further ahead.
Oh, doesn't find the Shock Blast. Now Faker is able to turn some damage back onto Karis. Okay, Umpty, what can you make happen? So far,
look at that. Predator is now off cooldown.
All right, let's go.
Well, T1 knows.
Can you line it up is
Oner's
the
on his
question.
way.
Gets the stun. There's the body slam. Max range. Easy peasy. Umpty locks it down. And yeah, Oner's on his way. But he's going to see the piggy bank has been shattered. The coins removed.
And this plan of shutting Zeus down is successful. My question is it going to be enough? That's always the question, because Umpty is snowballing the Renekton, and Morgan has been a great Renekton. As yeah, I'm gonna go. I know the thumbs up is there. I know this is all an elaborate bait setup.
It's a ruse.
But you know, he can also do that half a second later when the rest of his team is actually there, and then things would have been fine. But it doesn't matter. The response from T1 is good enough, and then this is where Zeus runs into some serious trouble. Would have not minded if he picked up some early Merc threats so that these CC chains are a little bit less obnoxious. Has zero counterplay potential, and Ignite's Edge, great in the 1v1, not so great when you are getting spam ganked by Gragas. And Umpty definitely making his presence known, and that was one of the things we wanted to see from him coming into this game. And it has led to a large gold lead on Morgan. But is that enough? As the second Drake now going to get started up here for T1. Because the Crocodile is going to have to do some serious heavy lifting if Brion want to have a shot at this game, because that's where all their resources have gone.
There is one thing about Bro, and that is that they have the strongest Crocodile of any team here at LCK.
I don't think that's true anymore. I think that's D+ now.
No.
But he's 9-0.
Yeah, it's not about winning. It's about strength.
Oh, it's just about how much you can... Okay.
No. And honestly, Bro fandom has nothing to do with winning, as we know. All right.
Very good point.
Faker is going to try and usher Shelly towards the turret. Does manage to lock down these two plates. That was very close, though, from Bro. Nicely done, or at least nicely attempted. It's not quite enough. Karis clears out these minions. A parting Shock Blast as well. As... All right, Bloodthirster is done here for Henna. Here on this bottom side. Certainly good news. Shield bow for Gumayusi in the same sort of fashion.
Oh, look at his vision controller on the bot side for T1. It's so easy for Guma and Keria to just play continuously shoved up towards the turret. Do know, though, that with the wave clear available to Henna and Effort, they haven't actually dropped the plate. So yes, there has been prio, and it has led to 2 dragons, leading into an unfortunately relatively lackluster soul. As I actually want to highlight the build from Oner here. So I was wondering about this. We have seen
Kraken
previously, yeah. So it could still be Kraken Slayer to come through here, but Kraken Slayer second, because we have seen Kraken Slayer into Cleaver. I do really like the Cleaver. I think there's a pretty decent amount of armor on Brion, most notably towards the top side of the map. And Cleaver is just a really good item in general. The extra health helping out a lot as well. But I wonder if it's going to be Kraken, as long as it's not...
Oh, he's still in turret range. Morgan has to flash. He's lit on fire, but he is going to be able to survive, at least for the moment. Great play there from Zeus. Not quite enough to get in the kill.
T is there. And is going to try and look for a play here again. Morgan does still have Dominus available, so could still go for it here. Zeus did just use a lot of cooldowns he seems to be suspecting that something is up because the rest of his team has full vision. Look at that vision!
Yeah, everywhere.
The enemy bot, like they know everything.
And now you've got Jason Soraka walking through their jungle completely on vision like you were talking about. And Zeus moves back to his turret, doesn't miss out on too much, and that is 2 plates, probably 3 to go down here. Just another couple of autos, and there's another wave that is going to turn up, and wow, that lead only expanding as... that was a bit odd.
That's
going on there. As, yep, Morgan going to get permanently frosted. And now Oner's going to move in. Colomik is decent as the wish comes through, but it's not enough. Heartbreaker, and Oner is now going to help move towards this turret alongside Zeus. Zeus finally getting himself out of somewhat danger up here in the top lane.
T and Karis looking for a play on Faker here.
All right, there's the barrel. Faker in trouble, and Karis locks down the kill. Very nicely played. I swear, this game, if Umpty's not there, nothing's happening for Bro. But Umpty's making things happen on this map. That's why they're even.
He's having an awesome game, right? 100% kill participation. This is vintage Brion and vintage Umpty. This is when this team has looked its best. In splits previous, this is how it looked. He's making plays. He's stacking that Dark Seal. Gets another kill on Faker. And it's what's keeping Bro in the game.
It definitely is. Looking real good. Ticking up to 15 minutes now. Chains of Corruption come down here towards this bottom side as Hannah avoids the majority of what Gumayusi's throwing at him, but not going to be able to avoid their turret falling down. That is going to be secured. So T1 get themselves to an actual pretty decent gold advantage here after this one. And T1 moving towards some turrets in multiple lanes, but it looks like this inner is going to be the next one on their mind. Bottom lane of T1 definitely
here he goes again.
Game is okay. Faker, Emperor's Divide comes in as Morgan is just going to die. And now Umpty is going to have to run away from the Pigeon Man with the Sand Soldiers. Barrel comes in. Can Faker actually find the remainder of the damage? He's going to look for it as there he goes. Sweeping Sands comes in. Concrete Sands. Oh, the Comet! Just barely not enough. He'll take a drink and he'll take his leave.
But they got Inner! They got an Inner in 15 minutes!
Yeah. Yeah. There's the body of Morgan. We didn't have to show that.
Even if they killed Faker, like, it's not worth. But they did. He got a kill. They didn't kill him. He got a kill.
No. It's always worth to kill Faker. You talk to Dumbledore from Worlds on his Janna, the 4-man gank into the mid lane. Do you know what they said after that play? They said worth, and they proceeded to lose the game extraordinarily quickly.
Oh, you're killing me, Atlas. Like, nice gank here on Faker. Clean combo. Flash body slam immediate ult. No counterplay available. Faker even flashes into his grave. But then here, yeah, crucially, Morgan doesn't have the dominance available, so he starts off the play, and then Faker...
Oh, in the meantime, Hannah is going to get a little bit upset. I'm not entirely sure what happened there, but the tower's now dead, and so is Hannah. So hostile takeover, I think, was the problem?
So they pushed mid, and then Brion thought they could defend, and then T1 pressed their ultimate buttons, and then Hannah died because he didn't have cleanse, because he had to cleanse earlier when the first bot lane turret was pushed down, but you know, before the second bot lane turret was pushed down, after which now the mid lane turret is also pushed down, after which they get Drake. And T1's ability, and this is something that they do better than obviously any other team in the LCK, like tempo swings and getting one objective and turning it into more is just, yeah, it's kind of nuts to watch. And this is Brion, a relatively weak team that is struggling, that is with this loss looking even more unlikely to make playoffs, but they've done this against better teams as well.
Gets the flash, and actually a few buttons go awry, but it's not enough. Oh, man. Hostile Takeover just really does change the flow of the game, and it's kind of interesting because this is only the second time that we've seen Renata Glass so far this season. But it's great to see her back, and you also see that she really can warp how these games are played.
And it makes it very hard for Brion to play out when you lose map control. When it comes to gold and items, they're not it's not that bad. Like the game state is still quite poor because of the dragons that have been stacked and the complete lack of map control. But when you just look at gold, like, you know, there's a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
But that's the best I can do, which generally is not a great sign, as we now see that Guma is getting closer towards his Rage Blade. Oner is indeed going for that, what I assume will be a Kraken Slayer second. As we have a trap.
Has been set. Hostile takeover immediately going to be used, but Umpty's going to avoid it. Chains of Corruption come in. Morgan is on the flank, and they just leave. Keria, Karis wants to pick up the kill. The bailout is not going to do anything here. Henna wants to participate. It's not going to work out, as it's 2 kills now for Bro. And Zeus, he's on some sort of flank. Not sure what he's going to be able to get done here. As Faker now down to 50%, and I think that T1 going to have to back away from this one.
Really big moment here for Brion. Keeps them in this game. Gets them additional golds. Allows them to get a few shutdowns.
Zeus is not afraid of anyone. The Ignite goes down. He gets the Wish out of F. This is 1 versus 4.
He's just going in.
He's just going in. He's just doing some things. Faker's going to walk up now. He's like, all right, Zeus. Let's see what you're doing here.
Yeah, you just want to fight. We're going to shove mid. We're gonna siege your mid turret.
Why is it? This is the scariest Sejuani ever. Maybe I've just been seeing too many of the jungle Sejuanis that get absolutely no resources. But that looked comical. Just walking after 4 people that were running out of cooldowns. And the T1 Baron. Yep. If anyone doubted that this was going to happen,
yeah,
it's silly.
It's gone.
Yeah, Varus isn't here, but they don't need him.
Unless Umpty's on his way.
Okay, we're going to back away. Not going to risk a flip. Look at that. Very nicely done. So, without Gumayusi, they're not going to risk it.
That was just an overestimation. It happens to the best, as this is a wonderful trap. Like, watch the flank ward. Keria with an ultimate that doesn't really get anything done, and then they don't have any way to go. Can't get out here. As Keria gets taken down, Morgan then flashes on top of Guma, and you see T1's like, oh guys, we can go in 3 versus 5 here, right? Then they decide not to. They save that for a little bit later, which I think was a good call, because this is the type of moment where you can lose the game. Like, if you throw multiple people in there, you give up a bunch of bounties, you give momentum back to Brion. They still have a very strong composition, right? Like, and as I mentioned, the gold lead, while firmly in T1's favor, is not completely insurmountable. We do have Karis, Umpty, and Morgan on pretty good points. The obvious downside and sacrifice has been Anna. But, you know, eventually we'll get to free items at some point in the game.
Surely.
Surely.
Maybe. Well, yeah. We say surely, but sometimes T1 just wins. And it sort of comes out of nowhere, as they don't get the charge on Shirley, and now 5 members here in this mid lane. T1 raring for a fight.
This is
hostile takeover available.
Not Soul Point. Soul.
Yeah. 40 seconds. There's Glacial Prison used onto Morgan. He slices out of the way before the Chains of Corruption can lock him down. And T1, they set up the Sun Disc. Umpty on the flank.
T1 playing a little fast and loose. That's 2 ultimates and a Ghost used in an attempt to take down someone on Brion, but Morgan is sitting on Earth Roots as well as a couple of runes. As
Moonlight Vigil comes in. Faker is going to shift the sands, gets himself out of there. Zeus escaping as well. T1 are getting poked out of this.
Yeah. They used a lot, didn't get that much done. I think Brion could very well be moving towards his dragon here.
Yeah, for them, just a lone Ocean Drake, but for T1, they wanted to be able to lock down this soul.
Oh, there's not a lot of vision though. This has got to feel scary for Brion. They don't have prio either.
Oh, Keria pokes his head out and immediately gets jumped on. There's a hostile takeover. He's still alive! Somehow!
If he can't join the fight, he's way too low. Might have to give this one up, T1.
See whether they do, as now Faker, he's going to go out the back of the pit. Zeus moves up to the front, but now Henna with red and white guns, he's dangerous. And okay, the arrow's not going to be enough, but of course this isn't lethality Varus, so they lose the dragon. T1, can you actually do any more is the question, as Keria is just trying to drink whatever potions he has left, doesn't actually have any remaining. T1 will slink back towards the northern side of the river. Bro, I can feel something has changed within them. Can you feel it? Can you feel the bro memento starting to happen?
Well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. This is still 1.5k gold down, and
trying to create some tension here, man.
Okay, well, I know, Atlas, but I gotta be honest. I've already told you that I don't think the game state is that bad, but until they win a team fight, I'm going to withhold any comment.
All right. Well, T1 have possibly caught someone out of position. There is the Glacial Prison, but great buffer on the body slam, and he will be absolutely fine. And you'll trade that as far as cooldowns are concerned. But yeah, speaking of being concerned, if you're a T1 fan, I probably wouldn't be just yet.
Not yet. But, you know, I as mentioned, I do quite like the Brion comp. We now have Infinity Edge done for Hannah. Morgan has his Black Cleaver. They're hitting a couple of really big spikes. And if they can get to a mid to late game where they can utilize the poke from this chase and maybe deal with some of the... I don't want to say lackluster hard engage, because you do have the Sejuani and you have Faker, but it is somewhat conditional, right? We've seen a lot of ultimates be thrown into Morgan or neither of which are really going to particularly care. Although this is a very low resource Gragas. This is one, not top Gragas, and two, this is Night Harvester, not Rod of Ages. So if you focus him, he will die. Unlike many of the other Graxes that we've seen that go for the Tear and the Rod of Ages variety, where you do have an incredible amount of effective health, but their poke's still good.
Yeah. Be leaning on Karis here to land a few of these. Yeah, Morgan.
That's it.
He's going to come in. Let's see whether this 5v5 is actually going to work out in favor of Bro or T1. As that's the K-Ram. We are K-Ram.
Soraka is scaling Atlas.
Oh, that is true.
Don't talk about Renekton
no. Scaling is not an issue.
Yeah, I know, he's a crocodile.
The Lord's Renekton.
Oh, okay, that's better. Yeah. I thought that I'll allow that.
The Lord's Renekton is a late game threat. Always has been, always will be. As Chains of Corruption come in, as I may have cursed him because the Emperor's Divide is going to cut him in half. There we go, that's the first kill for the team fighters immediately. What? Where did Henna go? is now looking to try and grab Faker, but it's not going to work out. And T1, they just wipe the floor with them. Karis and Effort, the last men standing, and the Baron not going to be up for much longer.
Atlas, a man with mythical power, as he hasn't finished his sentence, or T1 find a great hard engage on Brion. Going to turn that into a dragon immediately. Zeus and Faker making sure that no one is going to get anything out of this. Baron comes through, and game state that looked somewhat salvageable for Brion. Now 5k gold deficit.
And outside of a caster curse, what went wrong here?
Well, we saw a couple of these attempts already, and Brion try and fight a little bit too hard for priority. So this time the CC chain does come through. There isn't enough heal available yet, and due to Faker's ultimate, the rest of Brion has to like peel back, right? Like immediately a couple of flashes are forced.
Oh, Henna doesn't have his flash, so the stun's going to come in, and he's just, Henna's real dead. Does manage to get a Moonlight Vigil off beforehand. But there was bailout. There was a lot of reasons why T1 were never in any danger there. Now with the Baron, they're going to look to push down some more of these turrets.
As the super, and it gets taken down here by the Cask, but the next line of minions is already there. Zeus is split pushing by himself, and we see a little bit of a, of a flat surface there in that gold graph, and then trend upwards, and that might well be the end of the game.
It may. The Baron is being pushed forward. This inhibitor is not long for the world. That will be the first to go down. Can T1 get anything else, though? It's kind of the question here. They've got a line of vision that they can follow to get themselves out of here. They've also got a Wolf Camp to take away. They've got a blue buff to remove as well. And they're just going to take the mid inhibitor, move back, spend all that money. And we'll see whether the Drake is going to be the next thing on the menu. Looks like it will be. And it looks like Bro want to fight. Yeah, Faker might just like come over here and
he's just pushing by himself.
Yeah, win the game.
Yeah, he's making sure that they can't actually contest.
He might take it. He'll take a Nexus turret.
Yeah, that's happening
because there's no one here. Karis is going to turn up, but there's a Nexus turret. Shifting Sands gets him out, and T1 can now, because they've broken them up like this, they can just take themselves the soul. Faker, Emperor's Divide is going to deny that to the skies. If he finds himself a body slam decently, but no, it's not going to happen. Flash over the wall, though, from Karis is going to spell the end of Faker. But that's how you get a free soul. You trade it for a pigeon.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
I don't think you often get a deal like that.
No.
Oner making great use of the fact that Anna doesn't have his flash available. Flash stuns, not a lot of counterplay to that one. Do see that with that IE second, there is a considerable amount of damage still available as starts this one off. Faker unable to make his way out, even with the ultimate. But yeah, Faker dying here, trading his life for a Nexus turret and a soul is fine. Ideally, you'd want him to get out, but it's not the end of the world regardless. As Karis, nice sidestep there on the Chains of Corruption, keeps him alive for now.
Yeah, Henna with some good weaponry, but just going to grab himself a red buff for now. And the weaponry is not really the conversation that we're wanting to have, as Keria is going to find Umpty. That's a flash to make sure that he cannot body slam over. Really beautifully done. And that is Gumayusi picking it up from downtown. Says, thank you very much for the extra money. I wanted my Infinity Edge. I guess. Is what he's going for next? Bloodthirster?
No, yeah, well, BBT. Yeah, because he has Rage Blade.
I see Crit Cloak and BF Sword, and my old man brain is just like, that's Infinity Edge. But then I look at the build, I'm like, that's on hit Varus Atlas, you moron. As anyway, Bro now going to deal with these minions flooding into their top side.
You're doing great. I'm very proud of you.
Man.
Yeah, come on. I'm keeping it positive.
Yeah, I don't think moron's necessarily a bad thing.
Whoa. When have you ever called someone a moron and be like, oh, thanks, man, I appreciate it.
I've never said thanks, but I've never found it, you know, too bad. An endearing moron. I'm okay with that. If that's who I am, then I can be a happy man.
That's your words. I would never. I would never, as T1 taking the top lane inhibitor as well.
Zeus taking matters into his own hands yet again. He just says, F it, you're going to prison for a moment, but then I'll let you go. And he does. And Bro now to deal with 2 inhibitors being down. One of them down for 2 minutes, the other one down for 4.5. And is it just going to be Elder? And then T1 walks into the base and wins? Or is it going to be Baron and then walks into the base and wins?
That's not an item. He went Zeke's.
Okay.
He went Zeke's Convergence.
Sometimes you just want to converge. I think it's all right.
I actually do think there is there are some seriously undervalued items. Anathema's changed this one. I really like.
We see Anathema's picked up a bit
in specific tissues. Yeah, I know, but I think there's more room. But Zeke's froze me off a little bit. Haven't seen that one in a while. As yeah, there's only one lane still alive here for Breon.
Yeah,
not for long.
Gumayusi just going to get to work on that one. Takes down the inhibitor turret. And you can see Zeus just happily playing in this front line, dashing around every which way. The handshake does come through as Umpty is going to be able to run it out. Runs real quick as well as Moonlight Vigil comes in. Not going to do too much though, as Zeus is just a brick wall in the front line. The last inhibitor is going to fall. Mid lane is going to be respawning pretty soon, in about 40 seconds time. And Bro, their house is in shambles now, as they try to chase T1 out of here. T1, I mean, this is a very comfortable Baron if they want to take it, but they could also just kill the last remaining turret in this game and win. Well,
the mid inhibitor is about to respawn, so they might want to go for that. The current mid wave already doesn't have supers on it. Could be looking for that. Would be a great opportunity for them to effectively guarantee as game is. Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, Kara's going to be spotted. Immediately turning around and taking down the Jace, and now the hostile takeover comes in. Henna is pretty dangerous though, as Keria is going to get taken down. Emperor's Divide going to move Morgan away from Faker as the Glacial Prison lands in between everyone and explodes. And doesn't really do too much more than that.
Look at the side lanes though.
Yeah, no, there are super minions and stuff like that. But if we don't ignore the mini-map, the game is very close.
We can't ignore the mini-map, Atlas.
We should ignore the mini-map.
No, don't listen to Atlas. Don't ignore the mini-map. The mini-map is important. T1, all or nothing. Umpty. No, can't even get in.
Yeah, they do manage to take the outer turret in the mid lane. Come back. As Morgan, he's going to have to Dominus deal with Faker here. And Effort is just running away from Oner. This Nexus turret, not long for the world. And Faker has a one-track mind. Alright, that's a flash forward from Oner. Henna is in so much trouble. Faker will swoop in, collect that one, and move on towards winning this game. That Nexus turret was taken down.
Oner took the life of effort and then used his his silence to make sure he could get on top.
Very cutely done. As there is an Emperor's Divide. Faker is going to die again, but it looks like he's having a very good time on the Rift. The Nexus will fall moments afterwards. T1 pick up the 2-0.